If you're a Virgo or you know any Virgos, this is for you. Alright, some things you might not know about Virgos are Virgos are highly creative and expressive. They have a natural talent for organizing details and putting things together, crafting things because of that mercurial influence. It's almost like they have this natural urge to be making things with their hands and expressing themselves, especially if it helps them process what they're going through and how they're feeling. And if there are no words for them to express that, Virgos often go looking for another way they can creatively express that. And a lot of Virgos are actually really talented and creative musicians, artists, comedians, actors, all of it, because they have that natural eye for detail and devotion. Once they find something that they really like and they enjoy, they strive to do it well. Another thing about Virgos is they are humorous. They're very funny. Sometimes people don't expect that from Virgos, or they don't catch it, because Virgos have that dry wit sometimes, or they can be really sarcastic. They could be making jokes, and some people won't ever even notice that they're cracking jokes. But I find that Virgos are kind of naturally humorous because of that mercurial influence, again, communication. But they also want to be of service in some way, and a lot of Virgos can actually just enjoy making people smile and making people laugh and bringing that out of people in a way. So I find that in a lot of Virgos as well. And another thing about Virgos is they're really compassionate and empathetic. They're great listeners as well. They have a natural inclination to want to help and be of service. They are sensitive. They do understand the wide variety of things that people usually have to go through in life and earth, and they are also patient enough to listen, again, because they're ruled by Mercury, and Mercury rules communication. This is actually the side of Virgo for that, where they're able to sit back and observe and listen rather than being chatty like Geminis, or overly chatty and like bubbly and outgoing, which isn't always the case, but like most of the time it is for Geminis. Virgos actually prefer to be behind the scenes, usually, because it helps them process things a lot better. And so I find that most Virgos are really great listeners, and they can just sit and listen and observe, process what you're saying, the information, before they even try to help you or understand what's going on with you. And Virgos are naturally, they naturally want to be of service. They want to help. And this is good, but they have to be careful of being taken advantage of by people, people who don't appreciate them or see that they can use them, because Virgos are the type to always be there, be that friend that you can talk to and listen to, that will want to help out and will want to give you advice or try to help you improve, or just be there and listen to you and see if there's anything that they can do. And another thing about Virgos is they are extremely they can be very detail oriented, yes. I don't want to say extremely analytical, but they have a great eye for detail. So they can usually pick up on things right away. Their intuition is powerful in Virgos, because they notice everything again. And it's that flip side of being ruled by Mercury, where they can sit back and observe behind the scenes and listen and actually pick up a lot of more information that way and understand things a lot more, rather than just going up to someone and like trying to get the spotlight or talk to them. So they're usually very intuitive, and they can pick up on things that you're not even saying or telling them, and they will notice things about you or about the world or whatever is going on. All the small details, like Virgos notice that shit. They really do. And yes, I know Virgos get a lot of stereotypical, very clean. Yes, we're very clean, and that's all we care about is cleaning and criticizing. And not always. That can come into play sometimes. Depends also what else is going on in your chart. But that is like not all there is to Virgos. There's so much more to Virgos than that. Okay? Another thing about Virgos is they enjoy their quiet time and personal space, and they also need this. Okay? So Virgos, again, it ties into the mercurial influence in communication, but Virgos need that quiet time, their own space, solitude, peace, like away from people. And sometimes you might not see your Virgo people for a while, and don't take it personal, because it's usually not. Because they just need that to decompress from the world, to come back to their center, to process fully everything that they are experiencing, so that they can go back out into the world and then help other people and be of service in the ways that they want to be. So I find Virgos really need this alone time and space, and it's actually really good for them. They have no problem usually being alone and doing things on their own. This also ties into my other thing about Virgos is Virgos are natural leaders. They're original. They don't strive to copy other people or to be someone else, or usually to try and gain external validation. Virgos are their own light. They stand in their own lane. And this is a thing about Virgos that has kind of got diluted over time, but Virgos, the Virgin, was initially symbolized by an independent person, an independent spirit that can take care of themselves and can stand on their own and handle what they need to handle in the world. And they are sovereign, they are autonomous, and this is very true about Virgos, is they do actually value their freedom, and they don't take it lightly if someone is trying to always be in their space all the time, unless they really like you. It depends, you know. But yeah, Virgos need their space. They need that quiet time, or else they won't really function as well in the world. It could get easily overwhelming for them if they don't have that time alone and the space to decompress and come back to their center and just be away from the world for a while and people, so they're not just constantly buzzing with all these thoughts and communications, because Virgos can easily sink into overthinking. So this is also why they need that space. It's very important for them, and I find most Virgos do this, and it's kind of overlooked, I think, that people don't understand why Virgos might need this. But also, again, Virgos are comfortable behind the scenes. They're comfortable like just operating in a way where they don't always have to be in the spotlight. They don't really need it, you know, like a Leo. But yeah, and then other than that, like Virgos just have so much creative power and individuality that they find their niche usually, and they work on that, and they're not afraid to work on that and put the time in it, and they take their time, you know. There's no rush. Earth signs usually do, but especially Virgo, when they approach something, it's gonna be very mindfully usually, and they're gonna take their time and process the details and craft and create what they want. And sometimes there's a pressure to be perfect, but most Virgos I know or have seen understand that if you're trying to be perfect, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Like, there's no such thing as perfection. So that is something Virgos need to learn if they're struggling with that, is that you can't be this perfect being. Like, it's literally impossible, and that's okay. Like, flaws make our world beautiful. We're also different and have so many things going on. It'd be kind of boring, you know, if everything was perfect, you know. It's just not real. It's just not realistic. But yeah, Virgos can kind of have that pressure over them, and then Virgos get stereotyped into, oh, you're just perfect, clean assholes. You know, but that's not really the case. I find actually people project that a lot onto Virgos, that they have to be perfect and stuff. And then what can kind of happen sometimes is then like a Virgo might get actually kind of stressed out by that, and then start overthinking, and then be kind of messy and all these things because they're trying to like process and do so many things, and they want to be to help to so many people. It's like, but first, Virgos got to help themselves, and so Virgos are naturally very autonomous people, very original. Yes, they are leaders in their own right, and I find people don't often assume that about Virgos off first glance or expect that, but it is actually really natural for Virgos. And so I'm just here to share that and change the narrative a little bit about how we see Virgos out there, because it's kind of boring, just the same old description thing, like clean, orderly, analytical. And like, yes, those things are true to a point, you know, but like there's so much more to Virgos than that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video and have a good night. Bye.